Hello all, welcome back to Time to Die Spell Review. Today, we're continuing our coverage of all the spells in Battlecry. It's been a while, so in case this is your first video or you've just forgotten, we rank all of these spells on how useful they are, how versatile they are, how creatively they can be applied, and overall just how generally cool they are. Everything you're about to see is our opinion, and therefore is automatically correct, and don't judge us, because,
Yep.
yeah.
And prepare for some war crimes.
Alright, so right off the bat, our first spell is Blister Bomb. This spell affects a 5-foot burst and forces all creatures in the area to make a Fortitude save. On a success, they are sickened 2, which is pretty good. And on a failure, they're sickened 1. They are infected with Blister Pox, which is an ongoing disease that makes them sickened and will give them a bit of persistent bleed damage. Um,
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Interesting note,
Oh,
this spell is banned from Pathfinder Society because it's
mustard
too
gas.
graphic, I guess, because it's a war crime.
Yeah,
This spell is literally I cast mustard gas.
right. Is Charm person or is Charm banned from Pathfinder Society? I
I
don't
don't
think so.
think so. Why
This is the
why?
first one that I know of that I've seen that it is, so it's kind of weird. Like I I don't know. I get it, but I feel like there are worse spells that are allowed. So for this one specifically to be called out is weird. But that doesn't really affect most people playing the game.
Yeah. I do think it's interesting that there is this mild trend of World War II themed spells.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there was the Swedish Hedgehog one, which
Uh,
just summoned the metal spikes
mm-hmm.
caltrips from Normandy.
Right. Well, it is battle
Um,
cry, so this is supposed to be spells that like come into play on the battlefield and like big wars and stuff. Um,
you wouldn't think they'd be thinking of World War II. You think they'd be thinking of like Genghis Khan and like medieval warfare, but they're
yeah,
very, someone was a World War II fan when they were thinking a lot of these spells.
right, yeah,
I don't know
uh,
if fan's the appropriate word, but it literally is described just like mustard gas. It's
right,
you get blister pox and you get persistent bleed damage and are sickened,
hmm
and yeah.
yeah. It's interesting. I think it's a very like effective spell. So even on a success, that's sickened too, which means they are um all of their stats are 2 lower, so essentially 2 levels lower, and they have to essentially to get rid of Sicken. Sicken doesn't go away on its own. You have to spend an action to make a Fortitude save to lower your Sicken condition by 1. So this is really good, especially because your Fortitude save is lowered from being sickened, making it harder to get rid of the Fortitude save. So
Yeah.
even if they succeed, you have a really debilitating effect. And on a failure, it's that plus persistent bleed damage, and the persistent bleed damage becomes really, really hard to get around.
Mhm. I do
Uh,
think it's
you
interesting. Oh, good.
usually I don't like spells that are like, oh, it can really ramp up in the later rounds because you're not guaranteed for a fight to go into the later rounds, and if you have a way to be faster acting, it's usually better to do that.
Hmm.
But this one's even from the stage 1, it is sickened 2, so that's still really good. And then if the fight does go longer, it gets worse. I like it.
Hmm. I think it's interesting that blisterpox disease it goes up to stage 4.
Mm-hmm.
This spell only allows you to get to stage 2. Is there any way to stack these effects to get to a higher stage of blisterpox?
Oh, so that's the way diseases work. So like at the end of each one, it says for 1 round, you're gonna make a fortitude save at the end of every round, and if you fail your fortitude save, it gets worse and worse and worse.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't realize. I don't think I've ever experienced a disease in our playing.
yeah,
Not like this.
yeah.
Oh, that's so much worse because a critical failure so it essentially starts you at stage 2.
Right. And then
Huh.
like so to get rid of your sickened, you're gonna have to get from stage 2 to stage 1 and then cure it. And then it can just
You
get
can
worse and worse and worse.
succeed, then fail, then fail, then fail, then succeed, then fail, then fail.
Do what?
So if you're trying to get rid of it, you can fail, then succeed, then fail, fail, then succeed, then fail,
Yeah,
fail,
and it'll
fail,
just
then
kind of go
succeed, fail,
bounce
fail.
back and forth.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like I like that.
Uh, Especially you put it on a creature who has a low fortitude save, like a caster or something.
Hmm.
Um, it's going to be really hard to get rid of it because they already don't have the
Yeah.
best fortitude saves, and this will weaken their fortitude saves even more. The persistent bleed damage is a little low, um, but the disease does not have a maximum duration like a lot of diseases do. So this is something you can drop on a spellcaster and leave, and it
Just leaves
will.
them struggling.
Yeah,
Okay, well, okay. I feel like we have a pretty good grasp of it. So effectiveness,
I think it's good.
very effective.
Yeah, I think it's really good. The only thing is, it's got the disease trait, obviously, and there are creatures who are immune to disease, so
Hmm.
there's that going for it. But I still
Yeah,
think, like, the vast majority of creatures, you will know what you're using this on. Like, don't do it on an Iron Golem, right? But
yeah. Well, it's a single spell that can have an effect on theoretically the rest of the combat. So I
mhm.
think that's very like efficient,
And
you
on
know.
multiple creatures.
Yeah. Oh yeah, even okay, yeah. I'd say this is highly effective. Versatility, again, you said that it doesn't affect certain creatures, so that's like the
Right.
only thing it's not universally useful, but I
Mhm.
think you're not 99% of the time going to be fighting things that are not that are immune to disease.
Right.
Creativity wise, I don't think it's the most creative spell. I mean, it just does what it does. There's not
Right.
exactly, it's not going to be a magic solution to things,
Mhm.
unless for some reason the only way to save the day is to fling cows over the walls of the castle you're.
Right. Um,
um,
but 100
but this
feet in a
doesn't.
5 foot burst, that's still like
Yeah,
you've got range for it.
I don't know if it's appropriate to call it cool.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I don't know to give it a high cool
I want
factor.
my guy to commit
Um,
war crimes.
yeah, war crimes are cool.
Yeah.
um,
No.
yeah, I'll be the sadistic one. Yeah, it's cool. I
No, Cameron, that
uh,
is messed up. No,
yeah,
I
I mean
like
the
it.
only thing that hurts it is it's not exactly a creative spell.
Right.
It's not a there's not exactly it's not going to be an interesting solution to things. It's an effective damaging
Mhm.
spell that I feel like well should also have some sort of psychological damage to whoever you're fighting.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I think it's appropriately ranked at rank 3. The one thing I will say about it is it doesn't. Well, this is kind of good and bad. There's no heightening effect to it. You're always just going to go off of the tree, but it is one of those spells that because it goes off your spell DC. Sickened is always good.
Yeah, I'm about to
Um,
say Sickened never stops being relevant no matter what
right,
level you are. So it has it has holding power, so it's a spell that you could use at higher levels.
right, and even like if you're level like 20 and you have 10th rank spells, this is a good third rank spell that'll still be useful, but it's not taking up the higher rank spell slots.
Yeah. I have my number.
I also have my number: three, two,
Three,
one,
1, 8.
8. Yeah,
So
it's
weird.
really good. I think they're. I mean, obviously, spells that like can do a lot of different things are gonna take those top two spots. But
Yeah.
no, it does
For
what it
me,
does very well.
yeah, and I'm always gonna be reserving 9 and 10 for spells that have a just as effective, but have a little bit more flexibility in how they're used.
Right.
Unless it's something that just blows like the damage calculator out of the water, I
Right.
might give it a 10. If it's just like nuke the battlefield, then I'm like, okay, it's a 10. You cannot do better than that.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
okay.
All right. Next up, speaking of World War II spells, Dividing Trench.
I feel like I should be wearing a metal helmet for this one.
Right.
Let me go put a pot on my head. Um, okay, I have some negative things to say about this spell, but we'll go over what it does basically. You're essentially creating
A
World War II
trench.
trench. 5 feet wide, 5 feet deep, and 15 feet long until it heightens later to become 30 feet long.
Right. Well, and it happens
You
every two
can
levels beyond that. But
every 2 levels. Okay.
I can't
Um,
imagine putting much more than a fifth rank spell slot into this.
yeah. You see, I could imagine it if it wasn't for how the spell description ends,
Uh
but
huh.
it can be it doesn't have to be a straight line. It can you can choose its path, but it must be continuous. Creatures in it get cover. Smaller creatures may get greater cover, but creatures outside of the trench also get cover to creatures inside of the trench.
Uh huh.
It takes an extra 5 feet of movement to get out of it, but it's not considered difficult terrain.
Right.
And the thing that destroys the spell entirely for me is at the end of the 1 minute duration,
Uh huh.
the trench goes away.
Yeah.
You're telling me that in a world where you can summon magical steel giant caltrips and summon towers and everything, you can't just make this a simple move earth spell
Right.
and let the trench stay? Because this could be really cool if you're like you have a day to set up, like
Mm-hmm.
there's a war, that there's a battle coming your way.
Right.
Cat, you just prepare this spell 10 times and
Mm-hmm.
just make a bunch of trenches, that the people you're using, but you're making the spell go. It's a 3 action spell. It's a third level spell, and that goes away. Why?
Right. Well, like I wouldn't mind if it going away. I think it's kind of like it's weird, but oh well. It lasts a minute. There is no like foreseeable like oh let's pre-prep the battlefield with a minute time period.
Yeah,
Like and
why?
then you have to spend 3 actions to cast a spell. And you can't cast it like to put your allies in the trench. You have
Yeah,
to
you can't
cast
drop
it
them.
and then they have to move into it and take an action to drop into it. Then it grants them cover or greater
But
cover for
also
small
grants
creatures.
the bad guys cover.
Yeah, it helps the bad guys just as much as it helps you. It it's good in concept. It's not good in practice. I do not like. I think it would be fine if it was longer than a minute. It
Yeah,
had to
just
be at
make it
least an
not
hour.
have a duration.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I was running this, I would just erase that and be like, if you want, because I would, no one would ever take this spell
Mm-hmm.
given its current stipulations. I would erase that 1 minute duration, say it leaves the trench,
Right. Well,
like
also
in my games.
you have to do it outside,
Yeah, it can't be through like tile or a
which
wooden floor.
yeah, like I could almost see like running it like it was like oh if you do it in an area with soft dirt it's permanent but if you do it like in the castle it's temporary. Like
Yeah.
something like that. I think that would be an interesting balancing point. But like to me it just doesn't even. It takes so many actions and to me when I read it I'm like okay my thing is like so to me this competes with like the wall spells right. But like at third rank, you have like Wall of Thorns is the first one that I saw that like creates it. Also 3 actions. Creates a 60-foot long wall that is like an actual wall and will automatically grant the cover um for both sides, right? So like they don't have to
Hmm.
spend extra actions to do it. It's difficult terrain to get through, which is this one is not, and it to walk through it damages the enemy. Wall of Thorns is just a better spell than this in every single regard.
Hmm.
Um,
Like, because again, the time you would want to use this is when you have prep time.
right.
But if you have prep time and want to do this,
Mm-hmm.
two dudes and a shovel, and you're better off.
Right.
Like you're like because like at least it would last. Like you'd have to have so much more prep time to dig trenches.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, if nothing else, I mean, just seeing the spell would like let you know if you ever wanted to dig a trench that met this criteria, what effects it would give.
Right.
So I'd remember what a trench gives me, but I'd never take the spell.
right.
I would just buy a shovel.
Uh huh. No, like I, the
Is there a
benefit
move
is
earth spell?
do what?
Is there a basic move earth spell?
Not that does the benefits of this. Not that gives you this extent where you can essentially just gouge the ground at 15 feet.
Hmm.
Um, within a single turn. Like I, the benefit is just not good enough for the actions that it takes.
Yeah,
It
and the fact that
doesn't,
it gives the enemy the same benefit,
and
just
it doesn't compete with other spells at the same level. And this is like third rank spells. This is the point where like even if you do what you do well, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good spell because like it's got to be able to justify the high ranking spell slot, right? This
Yeah.
doesn't do what it does well and is like higher rank, you know?
Hmm. So effectiveness low,
Yeah.
versatility, you would have to be in such a specific circumstance for this to even be considered being used.
Uh-huh.
Creativity, I would give it medium creativity
Right.
marks because you can use it in maybe some weird ways. Because
Mm-hmm.
just because it's a trench that gives you cover doesn't mean you couldn't like use it to divert a lava flow, maybe.
Yeah.
Like do Avatar Aang style,
Yeah.
oh, the lava's coming down towards the town. You could, earth bend trenches
Right.
that don't need to last for forever. Hopefully the lava doesn't flow more than a minute.
Yeah.
Um,
And then coolness.
yeah, coolness, mid low.
Yeah. I kind of agree with you except for usefulness. Just because like when you use this spell, it's always going to do what it intends to do, right? There's no saving throw, there's no fighting it, right? Um, if you have a party that is really works well with cover, maybe like a rogue or something that can go into the trenches and do sneak attack, that's pretty good. But still, it's just so much, and like the fact I know I'm harping on the action cost, but like you can't get the benefits of this spell on the turn you cast it because it's all three of your actions, and you have to spend another action if you do it right next to you to at least go into it, but more likely to walk up to it and then go into it. So, yeah,
Yeah.
usefulness is moderate, but everything else I agree.
Okay, I have my number.
I have mine
3, 2, 1,
four.
2.
Okay,
So an average of 3.
yeah.
I just,
If anything, I think
I
I weighted mine thinking you were going to go lower.
really,
Yeah, I think three is about where it needs to be honest. Um,
I cannot stand when they add these extra clarifying lines that just ruin spells.
right.
It goes away.
Uh huh.
Why? Why would it staying break the spell?
Uh huh. Well,
What in what world do you be like, that's too broken for a third tier spell to dig
right,
trenches?
because like, especially like you think of it from like an enemy perspective. It's like, okay, you're going up to an enemy, them having trenches that like, oh, they have more than 15-foot trenches. Well, they just dug the trenches, right? It doesn't like break your narrative to be like, okay, well maybe they just got a shovel, right? Like,
Yeah.
if you have the trenches on the battlefield already, they're gonna already hit the battlefield.
Yeah, because again, if whoever made this spell just really wants that World War II aesthetic,
Mm-hmm.
the trenches didn't go away. Some of them are still there.
Right.
Like if you want a fun, complicated battlefield that has a bunch of weaving trenches,
Mm-hmm.
if that's the narrative you're going for, let them actually keep the trenches because
Right.
creating this singular little trench that lasts for a minute is not going to make this super fun, interesting narrative nearly as much or nearly as creative as creating a complicated, winding
Right.
trench. You know,
I agree.
like it would be so much more fun, so much more useful. I probably would have given it another 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
If it just stayed because I love stuff like this that you could be cool and fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, it just
but
takes too much to set up.
yeah.
All right.
But you heard it here. Just delete the duration if you're playing it. I won't tell.
All right. Our next spell is Fallen Soldier's Lament, and this is we're getting into fourth rank spells. So everything I said about third rank spells needing to pull their weight, this more so that. So it's a range of 100 feet. You target one corpse of a medium creature that has died within 8 hours, and then you sustain the spell for as long. And then you move the ghost of that creature around the battlefield, frightening enemies within 30 feet.
It's sustained for up to 1 minute,
Yeah,
not up to 8 hours.
yeah, sustained for up to 1 minute. Did I say 8 hours?
You said died within 8 hours and sustained for as long.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Sustained for up to a minute.
Yeah. I think it's funny how mustard gas wasn't okay, but raising one of your enemy's allies' corpse to chase them down like a revenant and scare them to death,
Right.
it's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. They just need a little therapy. Um, But I think it's cool because you can whenever you cast a spell or sustain the spell, you move the illusion up to 30 feet,
Mm-hmm.
and everything that comes within 30 feet of that emanation
Mm-hmm.
must attempt a will save against your DC and become frightened 1 if they fail, or frightened 2 on a critical failure.
Right.
So
And
I think that's cool because the amount of things you could
right.
have to make that check.
Mm-hmm.
It's just frighten, 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 frighten.
And frighten goes away by or goes down by 1 at the end of every one of their turns, but you could keep this following them, so just immediately keep giving them frightened.
Yeah, that's the cool because like there's no like, oh, once you pass, you're immune for da time.
Mm-hmm.
This just keeps chasing people.
Right.
Is that not crazy action economy?
Uh, so I have a problem with this spell. Um,
Okay.
the spell is fine and great in its kind of like own little place, but the fear spell is a first rank spell that is on every spell list, and it targets a creature, and then I think at 3rd level it heightens to target 5 creatures. And then on a success, they're frightened 1, failure frightened 2, and critical failure frightened 3 and fleeing.
Uh-huh.
Um, this doesn't get frightened 3 or fleeing. And it only gets frightened 1 on a failure and frightened 2 on a critical failure, so it's less accurate than fear. And then, yeah, so that's it. Oh, also, the target has to be on a medium or smaller creature that has died within the past 8 hours, so you can't just do it out of nowhere, right? You can't open a
Yeah.
combat with this unless it's on a combat that's pre-stocked with bodies. Um,
Mhm.
and then
I
I
mean, if it's
don't.
with an eight, if you're dragging a kobold around the kobold cave,
I mean, yeah, you're right. And then when it heightens, you can target larger creatures. That doesn't seem like that much more of a boost to me. um,
interesting.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean,
you put in you can it makes a 30-foot emanation a little bit bigger, so you can fit more creatures in it. But like that's not.
well, it's not just a 30-foot emanation; it's a 30-foot emanation
Mm,
that then moves 30 feet.
yeah.
That's that like, and that's every so like I understand that the rank 1 fear spell is like more effective,
Uh huh.
but if you think about the action economy, also you have limited spell slots.
Right.
You get to cast that first level fear once, and it
Right.
affects 5 creatures. That's that spell slot gone.
Uh
This is
huh.
a 4th rank spell, but you cast it once, and for the rest of that combat, for 1 action, you can frighten a theoretically extremely high number of creatures.
Because no creature becomes immune to it, even if they critically succeed. Right.
Yet no one, it doesn't say that anyone becomes immune to it. So for 1 action, you're not spending another spell, and spellcasters often have an extra action they have nothing to do with.
Right.
This is an amazing use of that extra action.
Uh huh.
And that creature is just running around nonstop frightening people. And especially if you're, since this is really wanting you to be at war,
Uh huh.
if you have a lot of creatures on the battlefield, you could be frightening so many creatures. And
Yeah.
does it say that it doesn't affect your allies? Because
It says
it'll
each enemy within 30 feet.
yeah, so just enemies. So you can interact with this. It's not something
Mm.
that can hurt you. Like a lot of spells like this, that are like a ball of fire, it will
Uh-huh.
hurt your allies. But this is a spell that you get to use every round. It frightens things. It's never going to hurt your allies, and you
Mm.
never have to burn another spell slot on it.
Right. Like I will. I'm not arguing that this is like worse than fear. Right. I feel like it's got some significant trade offs, but I think for fear to be a first rank spell and this to be a 4th rank spell, it's not as much of an upgrade as I would like.
Really, I feel like it can affect so many creatures for
Mm-hmm.
so long, for so little action economy.
Yeah, I think that is true, but then I think it's still cut back for the fact that it has to have a creature that died within the past 8 hours. Like
Yeah.
once again, it's a good spell. I'm not saying like that does not take it down to a bad spell for me, but I think it does take it down from like and maybe it's because my bar is set too high. Fear is generally considered one of the best spells in the game, right? So I'm
Hmm.
like, oh well, it's not better than one of the best spells in the game. That's a
Hmm.
little bit of a high bar. Um,
Yeah.
but like for a fourth ranked spell slot, I feel like I could do comparable things with a first ranked spell slot as compared to a fourth ranked spell slot. I think maybe once I'm high level, this might be a little bit of a better fear, right? Um, yeah,
So, okay, so just to get into the nitty-gritty, effectiveness. So you're saying that it's not as effective as a fourth rank spell should be?
right.
I feel like it is.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I value the act like the spell preservation,
Lasting, yeah.
like the how long it lasts, and for
Mm-hmm.
just a single action, you're essentially getting a full spell.
Right.
Like I really highly value that, and the quantity of people that it can affect for two actions and a sustain action.
Uh huh.
Like I get first strength spell can do first strength fear can affect five creatures, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this could theoretically frighten hundreds of creatures on a crowded battlefield.
Right. And I think effectiveness is still good. Like, I'm not going to say being frightening everybody within 30 feet is bad by any means.
30 feet and along a 30-foot movement.
I think
The, it,
it's. I think you move the illusion up to 30 feet and cause each enemy in a 30-foot animation. I think that would trigger at the end.
why? It's if it walks up to it and keeps going, why wouldn't it affect it? Does it say that it wouldn't
Well, I
affect it
think it
that
would.
way?
I think it would need to be in the emanation when you trigger the thing. Just kind of to gamify it. I think you would need to like so it would move and then
Says you move the illusion up to 30 feet and cause each creature in a 30-foot emanation of the creature to attempt a will save. In my head, the emanation never goes away, so if it's moving, it's affecting everything it moves through. Because like if you have an army of like a line of characters and a ghost walks up to the guy in the front row, he's gonna be like, ah, and it keeps going and scares the second row,
Yeah.
keeps
Okay.
going, scares the third row. Like, why would the first guy be unaffected by the ghost walking up into his face
Yeah,
and
I mean,
phasing through
I'm
him?
not saying from like a practicality standpoint. I think it was just like I don't know how that works in game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you know
Regardless, I don't
the
think it really matters because the odds of a battlefield having that many creatures on it is a little bit weird, anyways.
mhm.
Um, you can put it where you want it to affect most number of people.
Yeah. If you know the how that exactly plays out for a fact, let us know in the comments. Because
Mhm.
in my head, it would be everything it passes through. Because a ghost passing through my face would frighten me,
Right.
even if it didn't
Well, because I
stop in
know
front of me.
like in like intimidating auras. Well, usually when auras are in play, it relies on the enemy ending their turn in that aura, and this doesn't do that. So
I guess that's fair.
or move like I don't know. You might be right actually. The more I think about it,
Yeah. So we'll still just give it medium high effectiveness,
yeah, I think
and then
it's good. The
so
it being a
good.
lot less versatile than fear is where like it falls apart for me.
Yeah, the versatility of it needing to have one dead corpse.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't feel like that like horribly brings it down for me because
Uh,
if you have this spell, you're looking for that opportunity to use it.
right. Well, the thing
You
is,
know,
it's not just one dead corpse. It's going to be one dead medium or a smaller corpse within the past 8 hours. So you can't just like
that's
carry a
the
body over.
majority of
Yeah, but
creatures
like you're going into the giant's den, you just can't use this spell now.
until you heighten it.
Till sixth rank.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean that hurts it on versatility.
Mm,
But the second there's a downed creature, I'd be using this every time
yeah,
because it would just like if I did not have a better way to use my third action every round, I would be looking for the excuse to use this every time.
that's fair. I just
So I
think,
wouldn't give it horrible marks on versatility because
uh,
99% of the time you're not fighting one creature.
right,
And this is a crowd control spell. That is
mm,
the function of it.
right.
It's a niche spell.
I just think
Like
with
how we
debuff
always
spells like this, you want to get them off early so your players can take the maximum advantage of it.
Mm-hmm. But
So
it doesn't
have
say it has to be an ally they care about. If they have a little Dobby that
yeah,
you knock out in round one, he's gonna scare the big bad.
yeah.
Dobby never got sock. Scared. I'm vengeful.
Fair enough.
um, so I would still give it like medium versatility.
Hmm.
Creativity wise, I kind of like it. I
I
think
like it too.
that yeah, I think it's you. I would be creative with this. I
Hmm.
know I was joking earlier, but like if you have 8 hours with a corpse, so if you can get a hold of an ally of
Mm,
any of your enemies and kill them within 8 hours of interacting with more of them,
right.
you can literally carry a corpse with you. I know this is again messed up, and mustard gas is not allowed, but drag a spell that motivates you to carry the dead corpse of your enemies on your shoulder,
So
so you
you
can
can
throw it in front of
traumatize.
them and say, "Hey, get them," and that enemy then rise up to chase their allies.
Yeah.
That's horrible, and I'm kind of here for it. Like, because imagine the role play you can
Oh,
get from this. Like,
absolutely.
if you have, because it says it is a copy of them as if it was a revenant.
Uh-huh.
So if you have the dead queen or the dead king and you bring it up to the other one and throw it in front of them and say, "Get them,"
Uh-huh.
even if it's not helping you, that's hilarious role play.
No, absolutely. Um,
You
and then
know,
coolness, I think you've kind of said it enough. It's super cool.
it's super cool.
All right. Um, you got a number?
I think I have mine.
Three, two,
Two,
one,
one,
7.
8.
Yeah.
I like it.
I,
I would be a menace with this
I
spell.
want to be very clear. I like this spell. I do not think it's as good as it could be, but I think
I'm happy with it.
if every spell was as good as the S tier fear spell, like we would have problems. So
Yeah. No, I love the flavor. I love the shenanigans I could get into with this. Um, okay, sorry, I don't not to spend too much longer on this, but if there was a herd of like animals, would you
uh-huh.
consider the animals allies?
Well, because like here's the thing, they don't have to be an allies of the person.
Huh?
They don't have to be allies of the person. This has got to be a corpse, and you throw it, and it targets all of your enemies.
Oh, I don't know why I was thinking this was like an enemy and it would
Mhm.
only affect enemies, but it could just be a. Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, no.
This just motivates you to carry a corpse on you as often as you can.
Yeah,
'Cause, that eliminates the versatility issue because I thought it had to be an ally of the enemy.
yeah, no.
So you just carry a corpse on you, and every 8 hours you kill a chicken. You just keep a chicken on you. I would literally make. I'd be a chicken necromancer. I would just keep a pack of chickens with me and kill one of them and throw it at the enemies. I'm like, what's a dead chicken gonna do? Then the chicken rises from its grave and chases around the
Evil
battlefield.
ghost chicken.
Yeah, I would just be the evil ghost chicken sorcerer. I love the spell. 9. I take it back. There's no versatility problem. Just keep a dead chicken on you at all times, and you have this spell.
I think I'm gonna stick with
Round
7,
1.
but okay.
I
We're
love it.
moving
That's
on.
so stupid. It's so stupid. I love it.
All right, filter air.
For a much more boring one than the last one we just talked about.
Yeah,
The trigger for this is you're exposed to a poison or disease, mustard gas, that has the
mustard
inhaled
gas wouldn't
trait.
work because it's not inhaled.
Oh, it's not?
I don't think so. No.
Well, geez. Um, and you're aware of the exposure.
Hmm.
Requirements: you must breathe air. In
Hmm.
case you're someone who doesn't do that very often, and
Because
this
if you,
lasts for a
but the thing
minute.
is, if you didn't breathe air, you wouldn't worry about the poison or disease with the inhaled trait.
Yeah, so redundant information, and it's a reaction.
Hmm.
So the annoying thing about this is so I'm just gonna read it. It's a very short description. You
Hmm.
suck in a rough breath of air, and your body automatically filters out the harmful molecules that would infest your lungs. As you breathe for the duration of the spell, you get the outcome 1 degree of success higher on your saving throws against inhaled poisons and disease. You mean
Hammer did not like the spell to the point where it broke his computer. We'll be back in one moment. And we're
So,
back.
so you mean to tell me that I'm spending a fourth rank spell and a reaction
Mm-hmm.
for 1 degree of success more?
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about the things that fourth rank spells have to pull their weight compared to other things. So I'm spending a fourth rank spell
Mm-hmm.
and a reaction for 1 degree of success more. And it only helps me, doesn't help my allies.
Mm-hmm.
How does holding your breath work?
Okay, so you can't hold your breath as a reaction, for starters. But when you hold your breath, you can hold your breath for like a number of rounds equal to like a number plus your Constitution modifier, and you can essentially hold it for a long period of time. The problem is you can't cast spells when you're holding your breath.
I guess that's fair, but isn't there also Gust of Wind, like a rank 1 spell that will just blow away inhaled poison things?
Yes, but once again, like if someone casts Cloud Kill or something on you, or one of the spells that kind of has the inhale trait, you would already be affected by the effect, right? Like you could stop by future things of it. This is the reaction for it.
This doesn't even guarantee that you're not affected by it. It just increases your critical failure to a failure.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous for a fourth rank spell.
I do think that is very good. Um, just because like once again, critical failures don't happen very often. If you're going to fail, you're going to want to succeed, and if you're going to succeed, you're going to want to crit succeed, right? Um, but no, it's rough. I don't think it's fourth spell worthy.
No, this feels like a rank, like just for 1 degree of success more for a
Mm-hmm.
spell and a reaction, this feels like a rank 1 level spell. Unless there's just so many inhaled poison things that you're
Well, okay,
coming up against all the time that
I
it's
do
this
think
much
there
more
is a
valuable.
rank 1 level spell called Air Bubble, and let me look it up so I'm not saying it wrong. I was wrong. Yeah, no, I mean, there's not really a first rank spell that does it. I think it does what it does well. I just, I, I don't know. Like it's not fourth rank's material.
No, I mean, if you're preparing, if you'd have to, I'd have to be 100% confident that I'm going to be exposed to these things.
Oh yeah, if you're going into a cavern that is notorious for having toxic gas, well, it doesn't really work then, does it?
Why wouldn't it work then?
Because what's the duration on it? A minute?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like if you're going into a dungeon for it, it doesn't work. Uh,
Yeah, because if you're going to be coming up to it multiple times, you're not just going to keep burning fourth rank spell slots every time.
no. Fourth rank spell slots are at the point where like they never become super expendable.
Yeah. No, I got to be honest. I kind of hate it. Effectiveness. So it's like effectiveness. It doesn't even guarantee stop. Like what it's supposed to do is make you not get hurt by inhaled stuff. It
Uh,
doesn't even guarantee that for a fourth rank spell and a reaction. I
well,
would say it is at best moderately effective, but you only get to do it once or twice.
yeah.
So if you're exposed to it a lot, it's not very effective because you can only do this once or twice.
Uh huh.
And I cannot pull out of my butt exactly what spells would do it, but I guarantee you there are other spells that just make the problem go away. Not as a reaction, but if you're
Hmm.
anything but a reaction, like better,
Yeah,
I
but
guarantee
you're
there are
doing
other
it
spells
for
that
the
are more effective.
reaction, so you don't have to take the spell. Uh,
Yeah.
here's the
If
thing.
it just
Like,
said you just don't get affected by it, I'd be okay with it.
yeah, but I think immunity to poison is pretty hard to get, right? Uh, so it's not like it can't just grant you immunity to those effects. I think it does what it does well. It's just what it does is not a fourth rank spell slot.
Yeah. Versatility, again, this is never going to come up, hardly ever.
So here's the thing that I will rebuttal that. I don't think this comes up very often like if you're like waiting for an enemy to use inhaled gas on you. But I think it would be very good if you were one of those battlefields who does like to do cloud kill or those kind of spells, and you could do it in it, that kind of caster has a problem when in confined spaces because he gets himself in his poison. Like you could do your own cloud kill and then filter air, right?
Yeah,
Um, so like I'm not saying it's good or even moderate, but I'm saying it's not the worst.
yeah. I feel like this is also a missed opportunity. Like again, for the World War II thing that's going on here,
Uh huh.
blister bomb should have been an inhaled, so that this could have worked on it.
Uh
Like the
huh.
fact that these are coming out together, I feel like they should have countered each other a little bit better
Uh
there.
huh.
But that's neither here nor there. Cool factor, I don't think it's very cool because you're just like, oh, there's poison. Let me breathe really deep this poison.
Right.
I mean, it might be a funny scene,
Uh
but I
huh.
don't think it's exactly cool.
Hey, Luffy has the spell,
Luffy does have this spell,
and
but
therefore
it doesn't
it is
take
good.
away the poison from anyone else. It
Yeah.
just helps you.
Yeah.
Like if the spell was you suck it all in and then get 1 degree of success more, but you're eating the spell, like
Right.
eating the gas, that'd be cool. That'd be helpful. That would make it a fourth rank spell. But that's not what we have here.
Right. No, I do
Um,
think it is. It is niche to the point.
it should be better at being niche.
Yeah. I think
It's like
I don't think it should grant you immunity to the spell. I think it should at least give you like a bonus to the save.
I think it should suck all of the gas in.
I could see that too. Yep.
Because for how niche this comes up,
Because
that
even
would
if you don't, even if you're not getting immunity to the spell, you are then protecting your allies,
yeah. Uh,
which is rough though because you're a spellcaster who's unlikely to make the fortitude save.
exactly. But still, that would make it worthwhile.
Right. No, I agree.
Uh, I have my number
I have my number as well.
three,
Two,
two,
one,
one, two.
four.
I'm feeling aggressive today. You're feeling nice.
You're on both ends of the spectrum, and I'm just gonna like, they're all right.
Yeah. I'm like, burn it.
No, I mean, I kind of agree with you. It's not.
I'd never take it.
Yeah, like I mean, the thing is, like with the 4 to 6 range, is like yeah, they're kind of like average, but like spells exist that are 9s and 10s, and like even 1s and 2s. Like for me, who is a lot more likely to be like, nah, I can make this spell work and get what's it called, sunk cost fallacy. I'm more likely to get with a 1 or a 2 spell than I am a 4 to 6. That's just kind of like, oh yeah, it's decent, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. All right, let's wrap this one up with a simple little spell called Pest Swarm.
Yeah. You know how that last one was like one paragraph?
May have to save word count
It's a
for this
lot.
one.
Oh my lord. Oh my lord. It goes.
So, it's an incarnate spell, and for those of you who do not know, incarnate spells means it summons a creature, or in this case, a swarm of creatures, to do something on this round, and then on their next turn, they're going to move and then do something else as they leave. Um, Most of them have a couple of different options for what you summon. This being an example.
Yeah.
I,
So just to go through the options, there's without what they do, just what they are. There's
uh,
cockroaches, mosquitoes, pigeons, rats, skunks, spiders.
I take issue with the fact that pigeons are considered pests.
Right? And that
Seems a
was the
little
one
weird.
that was like, wait, what pigeons ever do to you? I just imagined a dragon and like I summon pigeons, and it's just like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Um, I don't really know how to go about this except for just dive in. So most of them on their arrival do some kind of damage. That, and I think between all of them you have piercing, slashing, and bludgeoning damage. So the big like difference is when they depart, they do a different condition. So cockroaches will sicken creatures on a failed fortitude save when they leave. Mosquitoes will make them drained.
Hold on, real quick.
Uh huh.
It says that they take up that they are the pest form a large creature.
Yeah.
like a swarm.
Uh,
And on the cockroaches, it says within a 5 foot emanation. So would that be they're a large creature and then a 5 foot
right,
emanation beyond that?
right.
Okay, so wow, that's a big space.
Hmm.
Sorry, just to
Um,
clarify that this is a large
right,
affected area by
right,
this
right.
spell. But
Uh,
continue.
yeah. So mosquitoes will drain creatures. Pigeons will dazzle creatures. Um, and then rats will
Trip them,
can trip
knock them
them and
prone.
then do a little bit more bludgeoning damage and make the terrain difficult terrain.
Hmm.
Skunks sicken and do acid damage.
In a cone.
Yeah, and spiders will poison the creatures and then leave webs that will slow them down.
Yeah, and that poison has multiple stages.
I'm sure we missed something,
There's
but
a lot.
this is supposed to be like a brief little spell review, and we could just read this spell and we'd be here for a while. So,
Yeah.
yeah, thoughts?
A fun note that is again just me breaking what little I remember. I believe it was rats.
Uh huh.
The rats, whenever they depart, they dig into the ground, creating difficult terrain.
Yeah.
And since this is already a million page long spell, they didn't give any clarifiers to that. So
Uh
I think it's just kind of fun that if you're theoretically trapped in a metal coffin,
huh.
you could cast this spell, and then the rats could just burrow through the metal ground beneath you,
Yeah.
creating difficult terrain. And I would say that's made it easier to get out of that room myself.
Because rats can do
Yeah,
that. Kind of
yeah,
reminds me of
theoretically,
like
rats
that.
can burrow through anything
Yeah.
given this spell. Just a fun note.
They're magic rats. It's fine.
They're magic rats.
I will say this for this spell right off the bat. Versatility is kind of through the roof.
Yeah, especially given the ways you could. Well, technically, it
Uh-huh.
says like I hardly can remember everything this says, but I'm like, well, I know I could dig through metal walls with rats now.
Right. Um,
um, yeah,
it's a
maximum
lot.
versatility,
Just
effectiveness. There's you can find a situation where this will always be helpful.
right. Well, here's the thing: the damage is not very high.
Mhm.
Um, but
But it does two different effects. There
right,
is the damage on the first round, and a lot of these have damage on the second round
right.
for the action economy.
Uh huh.
You
Well,
don't. It doesn't cost you an action on the second round at all, does it?
no.
Yeah.
But like the damage is a little bit low on the front end. Um, so like if you're casting a spell, like you're not doing too much on this round in order to get the like actual super lasting effects later
Well,
on.
it's also AOE though, so it's
Yeah.
not like it's just targeting one creature. So you
Right.
could theoretically damage lots of creatures, even
Hmm.
though it's not as much damage.
Yeah.
And then if you were looking for damage, I'm sure if you sit here and min maxed and tried to find the one of like, oh, I just care about damage. This is the spell I have.
Right.
You just have to read through this and figure out which one in any given scenario will do the most damage, and then
Right.
it wouldn't be nothing.
No, no, not at all. I just think like I don't think it's meant to be a damaging spell. Like if you're looking for damage, this is not your blaster caster spell. Um, but that doesn't mean that it's not useful by any means. Like it's got a
No.
condition that will affect just about everybody. I don't think it's possible to be immune to everything the spell has to offer.
Yeah, well, if you're trying to do damage, maybe the spider because it does 3d6 piercing damage
Uh huh.
and then also does the poison, which would do 1d6 poison, then 2d6 poison, clumsy one, then 2d6 plus
Right.
1d6 bleed, and then 2d6 poison and 2d6. So it takes time, but
Right.
like for the one spell, that damage adds up,
Yeah. No. Yeah. You're right.
So it could, if you were expecting a fight to go on for a while,
Mm.
and
Including
also
spiders.
this is everything within its emanation, which is a massive emanation. So you're doing that much poison and disease to as many creatures as you can get in that emanation,
Uh
right?
huh. Yeah.
So that's a lot of damage.
Right.
Maybe not compared to like the perfect blaster caster
Right.
simple spell, but if that gets off effectively, that's still a lot of damage.
Uh huh. Yeah. Like it's really hard to say like it's not effective because it doesn't do everything. Like, I imagine, I have not went through and checked all of these, but I'd imagine Paizo knows their stuff. If you have a spell that does what Spiders does, it's going to do what Spiders does better, right? The point
Mhm.
here is you can prepare one spell and have a spell that will help you in all situations.
Yeah.
Um,
Even in like so the skunks, and I
mm,
don't even know if this inherently says that.
mm,
It says stink bomb.
right.
If you're a character who has a who's like has a tracker with you and
Uh,
you're trying to catch a character, I would say that if you cast skunks on them and blast them with skunk spray,
right.
I would say it's pretty easy to follow that character's stench
Right.
unless they do something to deal with that. So I mean,
Yeah.
the creative applications here feel limitless.
Hmm. Yeah. No,
So
absolutely.
effectiveness through the roof. Maybe like if you're just looking for damage, it's not going to be the most effective in
No.
the world, but it could hold its own maybe in
Right.
crowd control.
Right.
Versatility, yeah, you got something.
Right.
Creativity, you got something. There's so many ways you could break and like
If you
function
can't
with what
find a way
these
to be
things
creative with
are.
this, you're kind of like you might just want to stick with Fireball. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, cool factor. There's nothing much more cool than sending a swarm of pigeons now. But
Well, no, I mean,
like,
I think some of these are really, really cool and like have like, oh, you kind of think of that, like the swarm of spiders coming out, like that's kind of cool for the
oh
right
no, it's
character.
all really cool. I was just saying the pigeon as a joke.
Yeah,
Um,
like,
it's funny the imagery that comes to my mind
uh,
because this is just the World War II spell list for some reason right
yeah,
now. Is like we started off with the mustard gas in the trenches. So I'm imagining a guy in the trench. He gets hit with the mustard gas. He's like, "Oh my god, how could this possibly be worse?" And he turns to his right, and there's a man being mauled by a swarm of spiders. That's a large swarm of spiders just
uh,
mauling a man to death, and then another man getting picked up and carried away by a swarm of mosquitoes. Another one being eaten by rats and then another one being eaten by spiders. And he's like, maybe I didn't get it so bad.
right.
I understand why this spell is not legal anymore, but how is that legal?
Yeah,
That is the only imagery that came to mind when I was reading the spell was the mustard gas guy being like, it could be worse.
right. Yeah, no, like I think it's a really fun spell. My only thing about this, and this does not reflect on the spell at all. This is one of those spells that you want to be an experienced player to prepare.
Make the most use of.
Because if you put this like on a new player's sheet and they're like, oh, what does this spell do? Uh,
Uh,
and they like I could very much see the overwhelming options shutting a player down, right? And like I think incarnate spells were kind of meant to be like your Final Fantasy summons, where it's like rather than having to do summon animal and look at the bestiary and find whatever monsters like you could summon, and then they get their stat block and slow things down. Incarnate spells were meant to speed things up, but with the number of options here, albeit still less than the number of monsters you can summon with summon animal, there's still a lot here that will slow things down.
yeah. Well, see, it's like I feel like if you're going to use this spell, you need to write down each of these options and
uh,
then make it in like as few words as possible because
right,
that's literally something I do whenever we're doing like these reviews and stuff. It's like
right.
there's a lot of fluff. They describe things, they add adjectives and
Uh,
whatnot, and they label it depart, parting gift. Da, da, da. You would just you could make this 10 words or less.
until you get to
you
the
know
other spell that says whenever you do chittering race.
yeah. But I would reword this yourself to as few words as possible.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And that's like the only way that you're gonna not have this bog you down unless you have this good of a memory, which I do not.
Right. Yeah, I
But
mean,
I don't think that takes away from the spell because
no, I
I
mean,
could make it digestible for me at
right.
least.
Um, yeah, absolutely. I don't think the spell kind of leading itself to like The spell is really fun and cool and stuff. I can just think of new players being like, ah, and
Yeah.
it does not beat the Pathfinder is like a mile long rules allegations.
Hmm. Yeah.
This is like you can do this. I'm like, okay, but you got a rating for it?
I'm conflicted. Okay, I have my number.
All right,
Three,
3,
two,
2, 1,
one,
8.
9.
Oh,
Why'd you only give it an 8?
well, I mean, it's not god tier by any means. And like 9 tier or S tier spells, I still think like you're going to get spells that are more useful in the fact that like they will do what any of these things do better, right?
Yeah, but the versatility, creativity, and cool factor here, I mean, it just does everything.
Yeah, but S tier to me kind of like has to be all of the like maximize all the bars and usefulness. You're just gonna always be able to find a spell that is. I guess to me, there's always the kind of like part of the optimization part of my brain being like, no matter what spell or how you cast this, you could have always done it better with another spell.
Yeah, but is that inherent? Like, that's just the debate of what's better,
Versatility or
an ace
usefulness.
versus a jack of all
Right.
trades.
Yeah. Yeah. And like
You know,
I still think it's very good. I mean, when none of these are kind of duds to me. It's still an A tier spell. I just don't think it is.
I was debating giving it a 10 was where I was discussing,
Oh,
where I was
really?
like in my head about, yeah, because I almost said 9.5
Uh
because
huh.
it's like the only reason I wouldn't give it a just straight up 10 is because I don't have like an infinite grasp of every little thing that it could possibly do,
Yeah.
you
Well, like,
know, but just
yeah. I mean, I guess I can see that. Like, it's still a really, really good spell.
yeah, there's so few spell because like it doesn't give itself the same thing that 99% of the other spells do, where it
Mhm.
just cuts itself off with a sentence that's the end that ruins the spell.
Right.
You know, I feel like 90% of the spells we review have a sentence at the end that ruins it.
Uh huh.
And this just does a lot of different things and leaves it open to where I could take it and say, well, technically that means rats
Somewhere
can
at
burrow through
Paizo,
iron.
they're watching this review and they're like, "Oh crap! In that massive word count, we forgot to ruin the spell."
Yeah, literally, that's what it feels like. It feels like in the massive word count, they forgot to ruin the spell, you know? So I stand by it being a 9, almost 9.5. I'd have to play it actually to see how it feels.
Yeah, I mean, like I still think it's good. But also 3 actions is hard to win me over with. Um, so
It
there's
lasts
that.
more than one round though.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but like, there's no like positioning to get yourself in the right spot, right? It's just kind of has to be at it. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think 8 is fine. I think it's a good spell.
Mhm. I'd
All
say
right.
it's my favorite one out of this list so far.
What?
I just
War crimes, Cameron. We could do war crimes.
this makes the war crime not feel so bad. That was the whole imagery that came to my mind. I'd rather get blister bombed than get covered in spiders or a swarm of mosquitoes 9 feet by 9 feet thick. Which would you rather have?
Uh, but they're pigeons.
Okay, the pigeon one's the least scary one in my opinion, but literally any of the others.
Yeah.
Medieval torture used rats to eat people alive.
Uh
Like,
huh.
how is that not against the Geneva Convention? But blister bomb is.
I don't know. Okay.
Well, that wraps up the World War II episode for some reason.
Yeah. Uh, if you liked what you saw here today, make sure to let us know. Tell us of your opinions of the spells in the description and subscribe so you never miss World War III episode.
Yeah. Honestly, here's a fun one. Every one of the comments, let me know the most war crime spell. Like if blister, like other than blister bomb, let me
Mhm.
know the spell you think would be the biggest war crime. I
That,
think that'd be kind of an interesting discussion.
all right.
It's going to be create water. Someone's going to say create
You can
water
just
as water.
waterboard people.
Is you can waterboard people. Yeah.
Oh no, you got Aqueous Orb, and that's you just gotta keep them in the orb. I don't know.
Mm.
Pathfinder should have more war crimes.
Yeah, we need more war crimes. Give us your best spell war crime in the comments.
All right. Bye. Oh
Bye.
wait, no. Sorry, I have an outro that I do.
Oh.
That's all we got for you this time. Until next time, keep rolling high, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.